everybody, to the home of the Seattle Seahawks first half of the wild card playoffs championship team. They didn't quite win the second half, but I don't know. 1 for 2 is pretty good, isn't it, Christian?
It's better than being dominated the entire game, I think. So,
At
least it was we were only up by 1. At least it wasn't a Charger situation. So
no, that was we'll probably talk about that. But I watched that whole game and that was crazy.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I took a nap right before halftime, and I woke up and the Jaguars were down by 1 touchdown. So yeah,
27-0 to losers. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, but yeah. So welcome to the divisional round of Rival Talk. Obviously, Marcus has officially taken everything from me. He's beaten me in fantasy this year. He's running away with Rival Talk picks. His team went 3-0 against mine this year, so I pretty much have nothing left at this point. So
let's not get the fantasy thing all. Let's not get crazy there. You actually made the playoffs and I did not. So
yeah, but you beat me. So
Wow.
But it is what it is. Life goes on. You got 4 points last week. I got 0. 74-60 is where we currently stand, and pretty much here on out, I'd have to have differences on pretty much everything and win all of them. So congratulations.
There's still plenty of time left for you to destroy me. I think I'm basically the Chargers and you're the Jaguars.
I was going to say if I somehow win, I'll buy you a Justin Herbert jersey.
All right, I'll actually accept that.
But yeah, so quite a wild card weekend. Some good games, some crazy comebacks, and some finishes and all that. Brady may be done. Well, not maybe. I don't know if you saw his post-game press conference. He's done. He's out of there.
He's definitely done in Tampa Bay. There's a 0 chance he's going back there.
I know. I think I said this a couple weeks ago. And, a lot of people are starting to say it more now. It's going to be Vegas. I'm 99% sure he's going to Vegas. So
I could see if for some reason Tua doesn't get fully healthy. I don't know if that's possible or not. But if he doesn't, I could see Miami. But yeah, Vegas is seeming pretty likely.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously the Bills, they had a bit of a scare with the Dolphins there. That was interesting for a little bit.
They just kept turning it over.
Yeah, Josh Allen decided to throw it back to his days of playing Nebraska. So
it was pretty dang close. He had 7 turnovers against Nebraska, and I saw that. And what did he have, 4 or 5 in that game?
Something like that, 4, I think. Or
whatever.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think the clear turning point in that game, I think we texted each other at the same time. There it was the Skylar Thompson interception from his own end zone. That was obviously the turning point.
Yeah, that was it. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. I didn't really care. I kind of cheer for the underdogs in the playoffs when it's not my team. So might like to see Miami win that game, but whatever. It is what it is. The better team won.
And then Cowboys got their first road playoff victory since 1993, 92, one of those.
Against the 49ers.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, very interesting.
So they pretty much handled the Buccaneers with ease and without a kicker. That was, jeez. I can't
even believe it. Apparently he missed 5 in a row going back to that Washington game, too.
Wow,
so.
that's something, so...
Yeah.
So he's going to make a game-winning kick this week. So
I honestly wouldn't doubt it. That's how life works. So congratulations to the Cowboys on their victory.
And then you had the Bengals taking on the Ravens in what was a closer than anticipated game as well. Obviously, that turning point was that Sam Hubbard fumble return touchdown. I thought the funniest thing of that was Huntley actually thinking he got over and broke the plane because you can see him
wasn't even close.
You can see him arguing afterwards that he got the ball. It wasn't even close.
No,
come on,
that was the dumbest. You don't jump like that when you're a full 2 yards or a yard and a half away from the line. I don't know. He obviously didn't have the spatial awareness of where they were because his jump even was not really like a leap. It was more just like a jump and whoop, and put the ball over. And he wasn't even close. Like he thought he was closer to the line than he was, I think. And that's just
I like the nickname.
That's not good.
I like the nickname they gave it though, the fumble in the jungle. That's a good little.
Oh, it is. How about that? Yeah, I was kind of going for Baltimore at that point too, just because another underdog. But yep, now everybody gets the AFC matchup that everybody wanted.
Yeah. So obviously we'll talk about that. And then we kind of talked about the Jags and Chiefs already. So Jags made an incredible
Giants and Vikings.
Comeback.
Yeah, that was,
and then Giants Vikings. That went pretty much as exactly as I figured it would. Giants proved that the Vikings were frauds. Sorry to all you Vikings fans out there, but it's what it is. Kind of figured that was going to happen. For months now, I've been saying a lot of us have been saying Vikings are one and done. So
yep, I wanted the Vikings very badly because I'm 100% certain the 49ers would have just murderized them this week, and so that sucks.
Well, too bad.
Yeah, too bad.
And I think that's all the games. I think we covered all the games. We don't have to talk about any other game. Obviously, I'll just I'll talk about the Seahawks here, and then we can kind of jump in and you can talk about the Niners, your upcoming week and all that. So I'll kind of just relay that into talking about the game and then just talking about the Hawks and moving forward and all that. So obviously the Seahawks, they were right there. Everything in that first half went exactly as it should have, and I mean pretty much it was following like everything in my keys too. They were getting pressure, they were making Purdy uncomfortable. They were running the ball well. Walker was doing well. Geno was doing great. He had that great touch on a DK, which I forgot the stat, but the stat is DK now. I think he either tied or passed Randy Moss for most 50-yard touchdown passes in playoff games, which was only his third or fourth playoff game. So that was an interesting stat. So he's ready. If there's one thing DK has proven in his career so far, when he's been in the playoffs, he's that big time player. He comes through in the playoffs, just like you need your stars to do. He does that. So he had what ended up being not such a great day. He had an incredible day. I think he had 8 or 9 catches, 140 some yards, and was it 2 touchdowns? Right? Yeah, 2. No, was it 2 or was it 1?
Was it? I think it ended up being 1. That was the only one I believe, unless I'm completely spacing.
Yeah, but still,
maybe had a garbage time one at the end. I don't remember. I don't know who scored your last one.
I think he did actually. I think he did have the second.
It might have been him. It might have been him that scored that quote unquote meaningless one.
But unfortunately, I mean, obviously the Seahawks had the momentum going to the break because Geno had that slide at the end, that unnecessary hit there at the end that gave him the chance to get the field goal, which Myers absolutely nailed. But then just something happened coming out of the break. Just the Niners made the good adjustments. Sorry, Peyton Manning. I know he thinks that's a myth, but clearly the Niners made the adjustments they needed to make. And the turning point. Obviously the turning point was Bosa again to Geno and causing that fumble, which came after. I'm sorry, but it was a bit of a ticky-tacky man downfield call because Geno threw that ball in 1 second. So that was a bit of a ticky-tacky call, but still, that fumble then the next play, which I think people are unfairly really putting a lot of the blame on Geno for that, where there's really nothing to do with that. That was just an incredible play by Bosa because Geno had both hands on the ball. He was doing what he was supposed to, trying to protect him. It's Nick Bosa, people. Come on.
It's the possible defensive player of the year that I predicted before the season started on our first episode. So it happens,
Yeah, so, but that obviously was a turning point because, it was, 23-17, I think, there. So, at worst, the Seahawks get 3 points, kind of stay within the Niners there, keep some momentum there, but that's killer. That was killer because then the Niners went down and scored, and the floodgates from there just opened up. So, again, we had talked about last week that, the 2 games in the regular season, it was really a couple mistakes in both games that kind of changed things, and that was the case again in the second half. While they did great in the first half, they couldn't overcome those penalties and mistakes in the second half. The big runs and, the big plays by McCaffrey and then Debo. It was kind of
tackling, that quote unquote tackling on that Debo run was pretty atrocious.
Yeah, that's been the story of the year. So I feel like this game, sometimes you say playoff games can encapsulate a team season. Sometimes it's overblown, but I feel like this playoff game perfectly encapsulated the Seahawks season because it started out a little iffy. Then the middle there, the middle of the game, the Seahawks were dominating. I'd say even to a point they were doing great. But then it just kind of fell apart and couldn't really recover from there. So, It is what it is. At the end of the day, we weren't even supposed to be there, and the players, they got some good experience. The young core, the rookies got some good playoff experience. I know some people question, if it was worth it getting blown out like that, if that would hurt the confidence. I don't believe in that because I believe getting that experience, get that experience, and could even feel the vibe and the energy around it afterwards. They're hungry. They want to get back after it, and they want to learn from those mistakes and get back after it. So. I don't really understand the remarks of, is this a good thing for the confidence? Was it a good thing to make the playoffs, or should they just miss? I don't really believe in that. Experience.
No, that's. I didn't know that was an argument in Seattle or whatever right now on sports radio, wherever you heard it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not
a Super Bowl hangover. It's a lot different than that. Yeah.
To me, because it's kind of like in 2012 when the Seahawks lost to the Falcons in the divisional round, that heartbreaker, and then they came back motivated and they used that as a driving force for the next season. So this isn't quite like that, but it's going to be a motivating factor because the Niners whooped us all 3 times this year, so now that's going to be a motivating factor for them to come back next year and stick it back to them. So.
You'll probably sweep us, so congratulations on your victories.
Well, Pete Carroll without Russell Wilson is now, 1-8 against the Niners and 8 straight losses, I think. I did that in my head.
Is that for real?
No, it is, because I remember because we beat you guys in 2010 to open the season, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But then after that, lost the second game in 2010, lost both games in 2011, and then you come to this year without Russell Wilson, lose all 3 of those games. So, yeah, that's... 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1-6. 6 straight losses for Pete Carroll against the Niners without Russell Wilson. So.
Hey, wow, that's.
I told you at the beginning of the year that it was Russell Wilson that owns you guys. You guys own Pete Carroll.
I thought I kind of agreed with you when we lost to crappy Denver. So yeah, that makes sense.
So. Yeah, so at the end of the day, Seahawks, they have a very bright future. This young core to build around. The playoff, they were a playoff team, and they're going to have a top 5 pick. I went through and looked at all their picks. Actually, man, this is going to be a fun draft because not only do they have 4 picks in the top 52, they have 8 total in the first 5 rounds, which is that's pretty dang good. That's some dang good draft capital, and I think I saw an article rank them second as far as draft capital goes. I want to say the Lions were first, I think. And then as far as cap space goes, they're sitting pretty well too right now. They're currently at $35 million in cap space, and I expect some moves to be made to potentially open up more, possibly letting go of Shelby Harris and a couple other veterans maybe. So I expect that to go up a little bit, and obviously a good chunk of that's going to go towards Geno. Right now there's also a debate going on in Seattle, what's the mark? What are we setting for Geno? A lot of people are setting it at $20 million. I'm telling you right now, if the Seahawks come in with a $20 million a year offer for Geno, he's gone.
It's just not quarterback money anymore for starters.
It's the bare minimum is going to be $30 million. And that's what it would be if he gets tagged. If he gets tagged, I think he's going to be $33.5 million or something like that. So,
jeez, really?
Yeah, something. Yeah, I think.
Golly, I guess you're right. Because the tag is the average of the top 5 contracts, right? Is that
I believe something like that. Yeah.
I guess I'm surprised it's not even a little higher than actually at this point. That's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, really looking forward to this draft. It's going to be a great draft. I'm fully expecting us to trade back that first pick and get even more picks, not only this year but next year as well. And just what we got to do through free agency and the draft is just we got to find those big physical interior defensive linemen that can stuff the run and also be pass disruptors up the middle as well. That's really the big thing that we were missing this year, and I feel like we can get that. That it really will help our defense then settle in because I don't see our offense taking. If anything, I see our offense taking a step forward even from what it was. And it was a really good offense because now Geno. I'm going for assuming that Geno's going to re-sign because I'm 98% sure he's going to be back here as the quarterback. So
now we're going to be a shorter deal, 3 years.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 to 3 probably because we're going to draft. If we don't draft a quarterback this year, then it'll probably be next year and have him sit behind. It's going to be an Alex Smith situation type thing. That's what I'm looking at. So I hope we can find our Mahomes then. So, but yeah, so. Get that interior defensive line because, like I was saying, the offense I feel like if anything is going to take another step forward because now you're going to have Geno here for a whole offseason. The offense is going to be able to work here for a whole offseason, so they're only going to get better there. this young group add to it on the defense side of the ball, fixing things up schematically, and get a whole, getting a whole offseason out together with this core, I think is going to be really good, especially with them being motivated now to get back. I just totally just lost my train of thought. Holy cow!
I don't know. You were going pretty good, so I
know. But it's rival talk. This always happens. But Terry defensive line, and I'll just stop there. I totally lost my train of thought. I was doing so good too.
You got a good future.
This is what happens when we end up recording at the end of the week on a Friday. So
that's true. We got mush brains right now. I know I do.
I think I made my point for the most part. So
I would say you did.
Yeah, just at the end of the day, my main point was Seahawks have a very bright future, and if you look at the rest of the NFC West, I'd say they're the best set up team far and away for future success. So.
I mean, I would say so. I mean, when you're looking at young players, young, cheap players, then yes.
Yeah, obviously the Niners are going to be good for the next couple of years, but I'm saying, you guys don't, you guys don't have a first round draft pick, I think, next year at all. You trade.
No, we don't have a second either.
Yeah, so.
We have 3/3 and a bunch of 4s and 5s.
Oh, you guys might get a first round back if you can trade Trey Lance.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I definitely do not want to trade him. We have too many injuries to quarterbacks and other players, and there's still a possibility that the Purdy thing isn't completely real. Although every week he proves me.
You've been saying that for like 2 months now.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, what would you have me do? I'm an eternal pessimist, and
this is true.
Yes.
No worries, man. No worries.
No worries, man. If we even make it, so I'm not into that. Jimmy Garoppolo's gone 100%.
Oh yeah.
I want to keep Trey. I don't want to trade him. I don't care if we get a first round pick back. I would not trade him just yet. I just don't think, and I don't think we'd get a first rounder for him. So it doesn't really matter anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's pretty much all I got then for the Hawks. So I'll just take my seat here on my imaginary playoff couch and let you just enjoy your season that's continuing to go.
Yeah, nothing really enjoyable right now. All I feel is anxiety at the moment. You already kind of basically said everything about the Niners-Hawks game, so I don't need to add a whole lot to that. One thing I'll say is that, we definitely didn't look good in the first half, and neither did Brock Purdy, but he came back and showed some resiliency, and I want to thank you guys for giving us some playoff adversity, because that could help a little bit. I'm just looking for any positives here. The only real adversity we've faced in the last 10 weeks has been the Raiders game, and we did end up winning that and coming back and winning that in overtime. But this is true adversity was last week when I'm going into halftime. I was feeling very bad. Let's just say that I
was feeling very good.
I'm sure you were. I was pissed off at Jimmy Ward for that penalty. I don't like that he already left his feet and there's nothing you can do, but it's the rule, and it was a T to the rule. I wasn't complaining about the call. I just am complaining about I don't know what a defender is supposed to do sometimes, but it just is what it is, we like to say here. Yeah. It was a penalty, and you got to be smarter than that somehow. I know it's not easy when you're flying around the field, but you got to be smarter than that. And when we gave you that 3 points to lose the lead, I was feeling pretty low. I honestly thought we'd come out in the first half and go 3 and out and yada yada, but yeah, I don't know what Shanahan told him in the locker room or what they did, but Purdy came out looking a lot better. The adjustments were clearly made. It just everything started clicking after that.
Well, I can tell you what I saw. What they did is they started to run the ball more. They started attacking our weakness because they were. You guys did throw. You threw the ball. You threw the ball a lot in the first half. So that's.
I will say this. I think a lot of times Shanahan tries to set up things for the second half, and that's possible that's what it is. I don't know. Sometimes he's too smart for his own good, but I wouldn't change him for the world, really. But sometimes he does the exact opposite of what a team or anybody would think he's going to do. And then you kind of get used to that, and then he switches it up completely. I don't know. He's got methods to his madness, I'm sure, and I don't really question him. There's a lot of people that sometimes think he doesn't call a good game. I highly disagree. For me, the proof is in what he's done since he's got here. People can nitpick all they want. I love the guy. I think he's a great coach. So anyway, but yeah, sometimes his game plans can be confusing, but that's just because he knows more about football than I do, so I'm going to leave that to the expert at times. So, but yeah, we won the game, as you know. I don't really, right now all I'm doing is thinking about this Cowboys game, and they're the team out of all these teams that I didn't want to play. I would have rather played the Vikings, obviously, or the Buccaneers. I think either team would have been a win for us. I'd be worried, but I think in the back of my mind, I know that we would have handled it. But I mean, Dallas is super talented. I don't care what anybody says. They're chokers or whatever you want to say. This is a new year right now, and they're super talented. They had 12 wins and possibly the best division in football. They're good. They're a very good team. There's a lot of Niners fans that think this will be a definite win, just like they did last week. It's not what it is. They got the advantage at a lot of positions. I mean, maybe not a lot of positions, but quarterback, they have the advantage, I'll say. I'm going running back. I'll give us a slight advantage, but just barely. I mean, maybe not. I might even go a tie just because they got Pollard's awesome. There's no doubt about it.
I think I would give you the edge just based on your scheme.
Sure, that does make sense. If I'm going like a collective backfield, I might give Dallas the edge. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't because I don't really like Zeke anymore and watch him go for 100 and a couple touchdowns. But wide receiver, I'd probably. You know what? Now I'm just like, now every time I said I was going to give them the edge and all these things, and now I think our wide receivers are better too. None of this matters. What
a show we have this week.
Yeah, this is what happens. Playoff anxiety is real. My head is just swimming. But, I mean, the things that I'm worried about the most, let's just start with that. I'm worried about Tony Pollard. I'm worried about their tight end Schultz, and I'm clearly worried about Micah Parsons. And I'm worried about Dak if he's going to have a game like he did last week. He's not a consistent quarterback, but that doesn't mean that he can't become a consistent quarterback for these playoffs. We saw Matt Stafford do it last year. So, sorry, I'm coughing for some reason. It happens. So
yeah, and if there's any defense that can match your guys' defense, it'd be the Cowboys' defense in their.
Oh yeah, I think
you probably have the top.
I think our defense is better.
You've got the top two. You've got the top two candidates for defensive player of the year on the field.
Correct. So, yes, they have. Although I wouldn't say they're as deep as us, position to position at certain spots on the defense. Overall, they have as many playmakers as we do, the ones that are going to get you them big plays that are going to change the course of a game. When you're looking at Diggs or Van Der Esch or even Dante Fowler on the other end of Micah Parsons, they got a lot of players that can get them turnovers or get them sacks or strip sacks, whatever. You know, I'm definitely worried about. I'm just gonna, I'm worried about a lot of playmakers on their defense, but if I had to essentially boil it down, clearly it would be Parsons. He could be a guy that can get Purdy in some trouble, either make him make a bad throw or sack him or get a strip sack, whatever. I would definitely worry about Purdy handling that. I will say this, and I looked this up. Over the last quarter of the season, the Seattle Seahawks pressure rate and sacks per game has been better than the Cowboys, and we did handle your pressure pretty decently, at least in the second half. So, like I said, I think that game was a decent tune-up last week. You guys got some similar things going, if you ask me, at least. You got a dynamic running back, although maybe Pollard is more of a pass-catching threat, maybe a little more explosive overall than Kenneth Walker. But I don't know that he's not.
I don't know about that. Walker is
out of the backfield. Sorry, I'm catching out of the backfield. Yeah, okay, if I'm going pure running back, I'm taking Kenneth Walker all day long. Yeah. But Pollard is that guy that can get you that catch, to the sidelines or even over the middle and take it to the house a little bit more than Walker does. I don't know that Walker is much of a pass catching guy. I don't remember.
That's something he's getting more to be. So
sure, yeah. So I'm definitely worried about Pollard, and I'm extremely worried about Dalton Schultz, the tight end. We haven't been great against tight ends all year, and that's going to be a guy that I would kind of target to have a big game against us. I would almost guarantee he's going to score a touchdown. So get your parlays. Dalton Schultz to score a touchdown against the 49ers, if that's an option. I almost guarantee that's going to happen. When it comes to CeeDee Lamb, I do think after him, it's a little more slim pickings. They can still hurt you, but CD's definitely their big guy. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm still having a lot of confidence in Charvarius Ward to keep him under wraps, even though he didn't do it last week against DK. But DK is a playoff gamer, and weirdly enough, the guy that I thought was going to be our problem last week, Diamondor Lenore, had probably the best game he had all year, and also had an interception. So I don't know. It just goes to show you that anything can happen on any game, and that's another reason that every 49ers fan should be worried. No matter if we're better or not, they can beat you. No, there's no doubt in my mind. This is going to be a close game, and then obviously Dak. I would be very worried about him, just because no matter how good Brock Purdy has played or how much more consistent he's played than Dak over the last 8 games, 7 games. He's still a rookie in the playoffs, and Dak is still more proven and has the arm talent that Purdy doesn't have. So, man, we just gotta. Man, I'm worried. Let's just say I'm worried, and if we just gotta win the turnover battle for one, I think that's almost of utmost importance here. Maybe more important than anything else. Got to win that turnover battle, and if you win it by 1, fine. If you win it by 2, I think we're going to win that game. But
I mean, I don't know. The Chargers were plus 4 in the turnovers last
Yeah, I think
week?
They won it by 5. The Chargers won a turnover battle by 5, and we're up 27 points and lost the game. I don't think that's you couldn't. That will never happen again in the history of the NFL. I'm positive of it. The Chargers really falconed it there. I don't know.
It's Charger. They charged it. It's a Charger.
They charged it. There's no doubt.
Or they couged it.
They couged it, yes. Oh, wow. Did your wife hear that?
We'll find out later.
So, yeah, I'll just go with 3 keys quick, and then I'm basically just going to stop talking about it because I'm an anxious.
And you know what sucks this week though is last week you were the first game. Now this week you're the last game.
The last game, yes. And I hate it.
So you're not really going to be able to enjoy the other games probably.
No, not at all. Actually, I'll be doing is thinking about how anxious I am for Saturday night or Sunday night the entire time. So yeah, my first key would be definitely to win the turnover battle. My second key would be something we didn't do last week. Get Purdy his easy throws and help him out with the run game to start the game. Get him a soft landing into this playoff game. We didn't do that at all last week, and look what happened. We were down in the first half. So I want that to happen this time. The Cowboys aren't great against the run either, so it's something that you can kind of attack their aggressiveness by almost running right up the middle or running right at guys that are normally pass rushers. So we're not really a screen team, especially with the running backs, but I could see us possibly adding 1 or 2. That would be a wrinkle that maybe Dan Quinn isn't ready for, perhaps. So turnover battle, soft landing, start the game off with nice easy plays, nice easy throws, get that script going, and then I didn't even think about a third key. I guess. You got to pressure Dak. This is super important because he was not pressured last week, and you see what happens when he's not pressured. He's a great quarterback when he's not rattled. There's no doubt about it. He can pick apart whatever he needs to pick apart. Better than he's probably top 5 to 10 in that aspect as a lot of quarterbacks should be when they're not pressured. But he's got the arm talent. He's definitely a great quarterback when that happens. So you got to make him uncomfortable, like you like to say. So that's just got to happen. If not, it's going to be a very long day. So that's what I got. And now I'm just waiting. Friday, and now I'm just waiting.
All right. Well, obviously we'll get to the pick here in a little bit. Pooch picks. All dogs lost last week, except Henry. We're giving Henry a tie, I guess. So Drake and Diogi still tied at the top, both at 10 and 8. If you watch the Pooch picks video this week, you saw Drake is taking the Bills over the Bengals. Diogi had a pretty spicy pick, taking the Giants over the Eagles.
Okay.
And then Henry at 6 and 11 and 1 Henry's picking the Chiefs, so I mean that's a safe pick.
There you go.
And then Jack is struggling a little bit. He's lost 2 in a row, so we'll see what this means. But he's picking the Niners, so
it's fine. I think this is going to be a pug week. Hopefully, a nice little pug week.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, he's lost 2 in a row, so we'll see. But
he's due. He's due.
Never said that for Henry.
No, I didn't. It's Henry, I don't have much faith in these days, but Jack, I still got some faith.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what's like next week.
We will.
All right. Well, then we'll go ahead and get to our picks now. So we'll just go in order of the games. So
what's the point scoring for this week?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So this week there's not gonna be any losing points. It'll just be 0 if you get it wrong. But then if you get it right, it's +2.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
All right. So Jacksonville at Kansas City.
Well, I'll just make my pick first, and I'm definitely going Kansas City. I like the Jaguars story right now. I like Doug Peterson as a head coach. I can't see them going into Arrowhead and winning. I just can't. So I think I got Chiefs by 8.
Well, this game has a few storylines in it, for me at least. Seeing, if you look at it with the coaches, it's probably the best 2 former Eagles coaches in Eagles franchise history.
Yeah.
And if there is any one coach that could lead a team into Arrowhead in the playoffs and take down Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in their own home in the playoffs, I do believe it could be Doug Peterson. And I'm just prefacing this before I make my pick, and Trevor Lawrence is undefeated in his entire life on Saturdays. So,
okay, all right.
So with all that being said, and just with the Jags being just the hot team that they are, I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Jags by 1. I think the Chiefs are due to miss a conference championship game. They've made it.
I hope you're right.
Years.
I'm not going to lie. I hope you're right. I'm pulling.
You hope I'm right because you don't want to face them in the Super Bowl again, probably, right?
Correct. But we're not going to make it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But correct.
No worries, man. No worries. If we even make
it. No worries. If we even make it.
All right. So I'm taking the Jags by 1 in the big upset. All right. Giants at Eagles.
This one was actually tough for me. The Giants surprised me last week. Not because they beat Minnesota. Picking that game, I almost knew that I was making a stupid pick.
Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah, the way Daniel Jones played impressed me quite a bit. And I honestly don't know where Jalen Hurts' health is right now. Nobody really knows for sure. And we saw how bad they were without Jalen Hurts, so I don't know how good they'd be with a half-injured Jalen Hurts. Did he play in Week 19?
He did play. He did play Week 18. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't look very good. So,
but here's the thing, though, with Hurts. I mean, sure, maybe his shoulder might be ailing a little bit, but he still has his legs.
That's very true. And he's
got one of the best playmakers in the league, and AJ Brown doesn't have
AJ Brown. There's no doubt. All of that is no doubt. But I'm just saying the reason their offense has been so dynamic this year and damn near unstoppable is because he's been a consistent passer. His legs have always been there, but he's added that kind of I don't know. He was never for whatever reason he just was not very accurate. He's kind of been like a Josh Allen almost this year, where he kind of had some years where he was not very good at the beginning, only running. Then he got a little bit better, and then all of a sudden, boom, he takes a step to MVP level, which he would have won if he wouldn't have got hurt, probably. Maybe Pat Mahomes still would have won it. Who knows? Whatever, I digress. But this is a tough game to pick. I think the Eagles are going to win, and I'm just going to go Eagles by 3, but I'm not going to be surprised at all if the Giants snake an upset here.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking the Eagles by 4. I mean, I haven't really heard anything about Hurts' shoulders. I mean, I don't think he's going to be anything less than really at least like 90, 95%. He might not be fully 100, but as far as I understand, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Sure. That's what almost scares me a little bit is that I haven't heard anything. It just seems weird that there's no news about, like, there's just been no talk about it. Like, what? Sometimes no news is good news, but sometimes it's also they're trying to, I don't know, not bring attention to it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I still like the Eagles. The Giants have been a great story. They've been fun to watch, but I still give the edge here. The Eagles overall, more talented, better coached, I feel like, and so yeah.
Correct.
Eagles by 4. All right. Well, we got the Bengals and the Bills. So this is, technically is the rematch game. I know the game wasn't played, but this will be a fun and interesting game to watch for sure.
Correct. It should very well could be the game of the playoffs. You never know. And that's even including games going forward. Or maybe not. Or maybe the Bengals just dominate because last week. Although both teams didn't look great last week, I'm guessing they were looking ahead a little bit. I know you're not supposed to do that in the playoffs, but just there's no explanation for why both teams didn't just roll last week in both of their games, at least in my opinion. I know it's the playoffs, every team's good, so Miami and Baltimore aren't going to roll over, but, man, those games were closer than I ever thought they would have been, so this game could be epic. And I just overall think, besides maybe offensive line, I might give the edge to almost every other position to the Cincinnati Bengals. So
even quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely quarterback. I think Joe Burrow is kind of that dude. And it's close, but especially after Allen's turnover game last week, he's trying to do too much right now. And I think and I don't know that it's its fault. I think they don't have a run game that they can rely on. So that's a problem. And I think if the Bills ever fix that, I think Josh Allen's going to get a lot more dangerous. I think he'll stop trying to be like what Pat Mahomes was earlier this year when the Chiefs were struggling. They were doing, or maybe that was last year even. Yes, that was last year where they went through that stretch where Mahomes just looked like garbage. Mm-hmm. It's because they didn't have a run game, and he was trying to do everything. And I just feel like Allen's stressing a little bit, and he's got too much on his shoulders. And I don't think it's his fault. So this isn't like a thing. This isn't like a hater Josh Allen thing. I just think right now, quarterback play by Burrow is a little more clean and a little better overall. He doesn't have the run game, obviously, or he doesn't have the legs, but I like the way he plays the position a little bit better right now. And I think if the Bills ever fix that run game, which they haven't had in years for some reason, I don't know how they haven't, but then they would be unstoppable a little bit. But right now I'm giving the edge to Cincinnati, and I'll take them by 4 in this game.
All right. Yeah, you pretty much summed everything up. I do also want to say, though, I feel like, I don't know if you saw, but Joe Mixon is complaining about the fact that the NFL is already selling tickets for the possible neutral site game for the Bills and Chiefs. First off, that's just trying to need. Well, that's all they need. That's just trying to force bulletin board material, in my opinion, because that's a totally normal thing. Selling playoff tickets before the game happens. Season ticket holders, they get the tickets loaded up into their account beforehand, even if the game doesn't. If it doesn't happen, they get refunded. Obviously,
that's true. You know what? You're right.
It's a totally normal thing. So Joe Mixon, I feel like he's kind of reaching here for trying to force some bulletin board material where there really isn't, because it is a totally normal thing to do. So.
You're right. And before you go any further, speaking of bulletin board material, I completely forgot this. There's a Dallas radio station that's been going viral that wants Christian McCaffrey to get a hamstring injury in the game. So they said that on the radio. So.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised it wasn't Skip Bayless who said it.
Yeah, exactly.
Skip Bayless did say, though, that Tony Pollard is a better player than Christian McCaffrey.
He did, and I don't believe
Skip
him.
Bayless.
I don't
even want to say his name on the show because he's a piece of...
I know, I hate Skip Bayless, but I don't think it's as crazy as... Pollard's been freaking amazing this year. Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah, but it's Christian McCaffrey still.
I agree, and and Pollard's not as physical. So overall, if he got the amount of touches that McCaffrey got, I don't know if he could handle it.
Yeah.
So that's probably where I give McCaffrey the edge, or it is where I give McCaffrey the edge. But anyways,
yes, I am taking the Bills by 3. So.
All right. You're just going to Josh. Is Josh Allen? Is that going to be the Josh Allen show or what?
I think it's going to be the Josh Allen and Joe Burrow show. I think there's going to be at least 60 points scored in this game.
It could be, yeah. I'm really hoping it's just an epic game that makes me forget about things for a little bit. That's just what I'm
Yeah, that's right, because it's the Sunday afternoon morning.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I'm just really looking forward to just turning my brain off and watching some good old-fashioned football.
Right.
If that game sucks, that's going to be bad.
Well, I'll go ahead and make the pick here first. I am going Cowboys by 1.
Yeah, so, I figured. That's fine.
Go ahead.
Well, congratulations on your victory, and I already provided all my analysis, and I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing all year, except for maybe 1 week. I think 1 week I didn't pick – I don't even know. I might have picked the 49ers every single week this week. So I'll go 49ers by 1, just like I have the last 20 whatever times.
All right. Well, so we've got 3 differences then. You got the Chiefs. I got the Jags. We both have the Eagles. You've got the Bengals. I've got the Bills, and then you've got the Niners, and I've got the Cowboys. So I will say these matchups. I mean, I don't think anything can top last year, but these matchups, all 4 of these matchups, are again great divisional round matchups. These are all going to be fun and exciting. I think. Last year was incredible.
Oh my God, it was nuts. I don't like everybody's a prisoner in the moment. And if there's good games tomorrow, people are going to say, "Oh, these are the best playoff games ever." No, I remember last year. Yeah. It literally every game just kept one-upping the other game, and all in just the most insane ways ever. That was that the divisional round or the wild card round?
It was the divisional round, yeah.
God, that was just...
Yeah, you had the Packers-Niners game, you had that Chiefs-Bills game, you had the Titans-Bengals, and then you had the
And the Niners-Cowboys, they had that where Dak...
that was a wild card.
That was a wild card game, you're right.
Then it was the Niners-Rams... No, not the Niners.
Oh, the Packers,
Bucks, the Bucks-Rams.
Oh, yeah, duh. I totally spaced the Packers-Niners game with the the blocked punt for a touchdown in the frozen tundra. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, last week was just incredible. I do feel like I said, this week should be another great divisional weekend slate of games, but it's going to be... I hope it tops... If it tops last weekend, then by all means, I'll take that as a football fan, but I don't see anything ever topping last year. So
Seems impossible, that's for sure.
But we shall see. Either way, it's going to be a fun weekend of football. It will be. So, all right, well... That's pretty much all we got. Unless there's anything else you want to add in here.
No, I'm good. I gotta.
What's your drink of choice going to be this weekend?
It's going to be alcoholic Mountain Dews. So hard Mountain Dews they call them. They sell them in like 4 states, and Iowa is one of them. And I just had a friend go on a run to get me a bunch. So I had them during the Seahawks game last week, and that's what I'll be doing.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for that shipment out here. So.
Yes, it must have got lost.
Well, all right. Well, good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, I need it.
Even though obviously I'm rooting against your team, but
it's fine. But that's what rival talk is. I get it.
It's spicy.
It is.
So yeah. Well, hope everyone out there enjoys a good weekend of football. Hopefully, and real quick. Almost didn't get this in because we need to keep the streak. I think we have the streak going still.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom. You're fighting Tom for your defense coordinator.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, it could be the Colts. I think he's interested in Carolina. I think he could be interested in possibly the Texans. Although I don't. He said he wasn't, but then I could see him changing his mind.
Just don't go to Arizona.
Yeah. So don't do that. But. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna lose him. If somebody's smart out there, we're gonna lose him, and that sucks. But if we somehow win the Super Bowl, which is impossible, if we somehow do the impossible, which won't happen ever, not gonna happen, then I'd be okay with him leaving.
Speaking of the Cardinals, I hear Thailand's pretty nice this time of year.
That's wow, one-way ticket. Huh? Wow, good for him. Good for him. I don't like Cliff Kingsbury, but that's a cool move. But
maybe he can just stay there.
Yeah, he might as well. I did hear this that he wanted to get away from everything so he wouldn't get any calls from NFL coaches. Cliff, I'm sorry, bud, but you're not getting any calls. I'm
sure he'll hear you say that and he'll watch us and hear you say that.
Yeah, he probably is watching from Thailand.
Yeah. Very unique choice. So.
Indeed.
All right, well, then on that note, that's all we have for this week then. So thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and go Hawks. But, this week, Fly Eagles Fly and Bills Mafia.